Hey, and welcome to Game Talk episode 22. I'm your host, Ahmed Mian. I'm joined by Michael Dumeyer
God Howard is my Lord and Savior.
and Connor Haynes.
Hey guys.
And this is going to be our E3 2018 predictions episode. So, we had a lot of fun doing that last year for 2017. And we never formally tallied up the predictions, but I'm pretty sure I got the most stuff right. So,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
bragging
confident.
rights for that. But we're just going to go through each of the six major presenters for the press conferences for E3 and discuss what we might think we will see and any potential surprises that are on the horizon. Let's start with Ubisoft.
Rayman Legends 2.
Oh, that's a very bold
That's
prediction.
very bold. I'm thinking we probably
So-
see.
Actually, just to follow up on that, it's not too crazy to think because
It's been a long time.
also the free PlayStation Plus games for this month included Rayman Legends. And Sony is very conscientious about but frequently making games free, which have like announcements soon. Like they've done that before.
Yeah, and
So-
it would build. That Rayman Legends is amazing, so that would get a lot of people playing it because a lot of people I think passed on it, and it's an amazing game. Like if you got it for free, you need to play it.
Yeah, I
It's
think
probably my favorite platformer ever.
in terms of like their big budget releases, I think we'll see Assassin's Creed sleep for another year.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, they
'Cause-
took it off the yearly. So
Well, we don't know that for sure, but it did wonders for Origins.
What do you think the weird Far Cry is going to be? Like I feel like Far Cry 5 just got announced.
Yeah,
We're going to
they're
get.
going to announce Far Cry 5 DLC.
yeah, it's going to be DLC.
I don't think they're going to
trailers.
announce Far Cry 5 or 6 or
Yeah,
No,
whatever.
but do you think
Or-
they're going to do like a primal?
I don't think
No.
so. I think they're going to focus on
Well,
Far,
they've already announced some DLC.
but they're going to like show it off and stuff. I
Okay.
think.
I think,
It's too soon for another Far Cry announcement. I think.
if I remember correctly, Bethesda has said recently that they're done doing yearly releases for all their major titles.
You mean Ubisoft?
Ubisoft's kind of given up on that because they realize they can't put out the same quality as releasing, say, an Assassin's Creed.
So
every
something
2
to keep
years.
in mind: Assassin's Creed. There are several concurrent Assassin's Creed games in development. So pushing Origins back a year pushed all the other ones in development back a year as well.
Really?
So feasibly, because like there are different major Ubisoft studios working on these games concurrently. So like, the next Assassin's Creed could potentially come out this year, and it would still have an extra year of development due to Origins not coming out right after Syndicate.
I just don't see them doing that. I don't see.
I-
They are trying to make a statement to consumers that they want to wait longer and make better games.
I agree with you,
and so
but
I
I-
don't think.
but I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised because of that.
I agree with that.
Going to predict probably new Watch Dogs.
I was
Some
going to
sort
say
of
that too.
announcement.
I would.
Yeah, Watch Dogs 2 did pretty well, didn't it?
Watch Dogs 2 did really well.
Plus,
It was-
Ubisoft really wants to make it a thing, and I don't think it's quite a thing yet. And they're really pushing for it. And I totally would believe we'd get a Watch Dogs 3 this year. I think they're kind of alternating in their fall releases between Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs now. Kind of seems like that's their strategy.
That works for me, especially if they like. I feel like there's a lot of room to put those in the same universe.
Yeah,
if they wanted to.
Watch Dogs is just Assassin's Creed in present day
Yeah.
or something. I think actually the biggest Ubisoft game that will get announced is The Division 2. And I see you making that face.
I mean, I
But
believe that it could happen.
The
I just
Division-
have such disdain for that game.
The
honestly.
Division is one of Ubisoft's best-selling titles. Like it was actually insane how well it sold. The ratio of how well it sold to how little anyone I know or myself cared about it was like astonishingly
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I don't know much about it. All I know is like a lot of people play it, but none of those people I know.
Yeah.
It's a very Destiny-like.
Yeah.
Sort
It's
of game.
Ubisoft's take on
Yeah.
that genre.
It also suffered from a lot of the same problems as Destiny did, namely a lack of intriguing content at release.
So, but this is an interesting opportunity for Ubisoft if they release The Division 2 and they kind of take the lessons they learned from Bungie's failures. The Division 2 could easily like usurp Destiny's kind of place in the gaming ecosystem.
I don't know if there's a ton of overlap between their player base though, because like I don't look at the Division and see Destiny, even though like mechanically they're very similar. When I look at Destiny, I see sci-fi, and when I look at the
Right.
Division, I see shooter. And like,
Right. I guess if you're craving the same sort of loot-driven
Yeah.
RPG light
MMO,
type thing,
yeah, MMO,
yeah,
like yeah,
maybe it could fill that niche. All I'm saying is that Bungie's severely like weakened in their position, and like if there was ever a time to like take
step
that
in and take that back.
king, like that mantle, now is the time. Let's see. What else? Ubisoft, don't they make like Just Dance and nonsense like that? I don't want to
they're
say
gonna show a
nonsense.
Just Dance game. I guarantee you.
Because they
Just
always
Dance
have like
2018
a
will be
weird
Yeah.
moment in their press conference where there's like live dancers or
Yeah.
some kind of awkwardness.
there. There's
on the
going to be a
stage.
Just Dance showed off. I can't think of any other big Ubisoft IPs.
Yeah, me neither. I think Rayman Legends. I think a Rayman game will be announced though. I'm confident.
Rabbit.
No,
Fire.
no. Rabbids.
They have the potential to put out some really neat indies, right? Like, I mean, Child of Light came out of Ubisoft, right?
Really?
Yeah, it did. I think they have like an entire, they have an entire division set up to make these smaller budget games, these more artistic games.
I didn't know that.
So we could potentially see something like that. Maybe something else out of the UbiArt engine.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
So do you think game announcements? Do you think that kind of our predictions are kind of
Off the
done?
top of my head, that's
I have one more thing I would like to do for every show. What do you think the likelihood of a man in a t-shirt, a blazer, and jeans during this? I mean, I'm 100%.
100%. Yeah.
100%.
100%.
I would like to go over that for every single.
I think it's like 100% for pretty much every single company.
Not for Nintendo.
What are the odds that a Switch game will be announced at the Ubisoft conference?
Good.
I think very high.
Very high.
What are the odds
A
of like
lot
a
of-
Switch port of Mario or what is it, Rabbids Battle or whatever?
Raving or
That's only staying on Nintendo systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
are the odds of a Switch port for that being announced?
it was a Switch game.
It wasn't?
Mario
I
Rabbids.
thought it was like a 3DS game.
No,
No.
Mario Rabbids was a Switch game.
Well, what are the odds of a sequel being announced for that?
Low. It's
I-
too recent.
Yeah, it's too recent, but I could totally see a sequel happening. It sold very
it sold
well.
very well.
Yeah,
I can see them
in
including
terms
more
of
Nintendo
third parties in the
characters.
Switch, the third parties kind of love Switch now. So
Yeah.
I could totally see Switch games on in Ubisoft's and EA's and maybe not Bethesda's, but we do have Skyrim on Switch. We'll see.
And Doom.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's a good segue. Maybe we should go into
Move on to
Bethesda. Not too much to say for Ubisoft.
Bethesda. There's a lot.
Bethesda will. I'll just get it out of the way. It will have a man in a blazer, a t-shirt, and jeans.
It will also feature our
And
Lord
that
and
man,
Savior.
there's like
That
a
man is Todd
90%
Howard.
chance that
Todd
man's gonna be
Howard.
Todd Howard, yeah.
Or God Howard, as he's known.
So I think the big kind of like everyone's eyes are on Bethesda because they've kind of, in terms of giant sprawling RPGs, the last one they put out was Fallout 4.
That's been a
And
while.
it's about time for another one. And there's rumors circulating of a new like sci-fi space-based RPG
Yeah,
that Bethesda's is that actually what it's called?
Starfield.
Is that just the project name or the
It
game?
might be. It's kind of a speculative name. We don't have
Okay.
a project name, but Starfield.
But
sounds like a
I
decent
suspect
enough game.
we'll get that shown or teased at least.
And I'm gonna predict that it will release with VR support, since they worked so hard doing Skyrim and Fallout in VR. I think.
Going with the usual Bethesda release pattern, I guarantee this: if they announce Starfield, it will be released this year. As
Yeah, I
is
could see
typical
that.
for Bethesda to announce a big title 3 months before it launches. Like surprise, Fallout 4 is coming out in 3 months.
In terms of like a shooter, do you think we'll get anything from Bethesda?
I mean, Michael. You were talking a minute ago about Doom 2. Maybe.
Doom 2 is also a possibility. It's been a while since Doom, and Doom did really well. And, well,
And they just did Wolfenstein.
yeah,
That's them,
Wolfenstein.
right?
Yeah, Wolfenstein is published by them.
So yeah, I could definitely. see
Arcane
Doom.
has their own block there. Arcane's going to announce something big. We don't know
Yeah.
what. It might be another Dishonored. It might be a Prey sequel. Who knows?
So Dishonored, it has a very cult following, but it doesn't sell all that well. Which
I
is
think
kinda-
Dishonored is going to get shelved because all those games like Deus Ex and Dishonored didn't do well. This
yeah,
year.
they're not
They didn't
Yeah,
very
I-
popular anymore.
I almost feel bad for not liking Dishonored because, like, a lot of game critics that I have a ton of respect for praise its design and everything.
no,
I
it's
just
a,
hate stealth
it's
games.
a brilliant game, but like I guess just no one cared.
It's a very. I
I'm
love
just
the
bad at it.
game, and I love like the freedom of choice, but at the same time, I'm bad at stealth.
Okay, so like, what about any like crazy off the wall predictions? Like, what if we saw something like Fallout New Orleans or something? Like that?
No, it's
Huh.
gonna. I mean, The Elder Scrolls 6. That's my off
The
the
Elder Scrolls 6 isn't off the wall because based on like every single estimate I've seen, The Elder Scrolls 6 will not be announced until like 2020.
I agree
At
with
least.
you. I don't think that game is anywhere near being in a showable. If it exists, it's just still probably a concept or a
It's
prototype.
probably still in deep
Yeah.
production because they follow a
It's in Todd's diary.
Yeah, they follow a strict schedule in their releases, and they have said that they're working on a new IP. So it's probably Starfield, and they're not going to release the Elder Scrolls game until after that new IP, and they have like 6 years between releases. So if they announce that new IP at this E3, 6 years from now, 2022.
Yeah, I don't
2024,
think we'll
we'll have
see
Elder
the Elder
Scrolls.
Scrolls 6 until well into the next gen cycle.
Yeah.
Which is really
That'll mean there was no
awful to me
yeah, there
because
was
I
no
love
mainline
the Elder Scrolls series,
That'll mean no Elder Scrolls for the PS4
Yeah.
Xbox One generation.
which is just crazy
Skyrim?
considering how well Skyrim sold.
Yeah, Skyrim.
I mean, yeah,
Again.
I guess they just re-released it because it did so
Skyrim
well,
was
but-
just their stopgap so that they didn't have to release another Elder Scrolls. I'm still waiting. Or another off-the-wall prediction: Morrowind remastered.
I'd buy it.
I could actually
I'd
see that
buy it.
happening. I could see that happening.
I wanted to play Morrowind forever, but it's kind of clunky. Like, it needs a remaster.
Maybe even Arena remaster. Just why not? Just throw it out there.
See, Morrowind Arena doesn't have that same cachet as Morrowind does. Like everyone knows what Morrowind is.
Right.
Um,
It's the first mainline like fully 3D.
it's what the Elder Scrolls
Elder Scrolls,
is.
Mhm.
That defined what
I mean,
Elder
they're still
Scrolls is.
they're still doing the same thing. They've just streamlined it so much.
They streamlined it and gotten rid of a lot of the more obtuse RPG elements.
So, like, let's get
for
back
better
to.
or for worse.
I kind of want to talk about their new space game a little bit because if it's, do you think it'd just be like Skyrim or Fallout in space?
See,
Because
I don't
even
think
if
so.
it is that simple, I would totally be in.
I don't think
It's-
that's possible. Because they
Skyrim with lasers.
I mean, it's hard to do a space game with like you can't just set a game in space. You have to like give it a reason to be in space. Like the world, like why are you going between planets when you could just be on one planet and going between places?
Right.
Like, and they can't like Bethesda. They're good, but they can't build an entire planet with lore and stuff. You know, they don't have it. Like it took them this long to
So-
build the Elder Scrolls world.
Bethesda, didn't they say they were working on a new engine? Did you see that, Michael?
I haven't seen it.
I think I read that somewhere. So I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But if that's the case, that's even more exciting because their engine is extremely outdated. I think.
For sure.
I have
Oh.
heard rumors that Starfield, as it's known to be called, will kind of bridge the gap between Fallout and Elder Scrolls because they're putting them
Okay,
in one
that'd be
universe
silly.
for some reason.
They're not doing that. I don't think they're doing that.
I've heard rumors.
I think that's just
and
fans going crazy.
that's another off-the-wall prediction that they're going to be in the same universe.
They wouldn't
That-
talk about that at E3.
Yeah.
That'd be like some weird
That'd
Easter
be-
egg.
Did
like
we
in there,
mention
it's like-
Doom?
Doesn't exist.
Have we talked about that yet?
Yeah, yeah.
They're doing Quake as well, right? Like a
They do.
a Quake
They do publish
redo?
id Software.
I have no idea.
Quake will probably.
I
be
think I heard
announced.
about that. Yeah, I could see
id
that
Software
happening.
has their own block in the Bethesda.
In
block, so-
Bethesda's, yes.
Do you think they're gonna do another like Bethesda World thing like they did last year? Like the weird theme park?
Yeah, I don't know.
I hated
that was
it.
it was definitely different, I would say. I do think one other prediction for me, I think we're going to see a major mobile announcement. Because Bethesda has been saying, Todd Howard has been saying more and more mobile is more important to us.
Switch mobile or phone?
Phone mobile. Yeah.
What if they announce Skyrim Battle Royale?
Won't happen. But
What if it does? On a
I mean,
scale of
you're,
1,
you're joking, but you bring up a good point. How many of these people do you think will shoehorn or talk about some sort of battle royale in their new game? I feel like it'll be a lot
I
lot
feel
more
like
than
it
you'd
could be.
think.
I feel like you can make a drinking game out of it. How many times Battle Royale will be
I think you'll
mentioned.
die of alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, especially with the advent of Fortnite, and like Fortnite especially has just dominated the world.
Yeah.
Fortnite is the biggest game in the world. It has crashed into the mainstream unlike anything I've ever seen.
But there are still holes
Like
in that
I read an
genre.
article
There's
today
still-
about Major League Baseball sports teams doing that silly like 1 HP Fortnite dance after like a play or something like that. It's just like crazy to me, like reading about this kind of stuff. But anyways, back to Bethesda. Do you guys have anything else to add? I feel like we hit the major.
Yeah, I mean, definitely gonna
possibilities.
have a T-shirt, a blazer, and jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Todd Howard will be there. He'll probably talk about something that won't be in his game. You can go anywhere.
I remember I was pretty underwhelmed by Bethesda last year.
Yeah.
I wanted to see.
Well,
one
I was
more.
excited for Wolfenstein 2.
That's
I
about
never
all
ended up
got.
buying it, but
Yeah.
I was excited for it at the time.
Bethesda's, but after Bethesda was Devolver.
Okay, my off the wall is going to be Fallout 4 on Switch.
It's gonna happen anyway. That's not
You know,
off the wall at all.
after Skyrim's announcement, I could see anything
Anything
happening on Switch. Okay, so let's move on to the third of the third-party trilogy, EA.
Anthem.
Yeah, it's going to be a
So-
lot of Anthem, and I predict that they're going to be emphasizing their removal of loot boxes
So that's
from Anthem.
that's an excellent point. Yes, I think Anthem will be the big E3 showcase game, and I think a lot of eyes will be on that, more so than usual because of the Star Wars Battlefront 2 debacle.
right.
That this is their first real like major public appearance after that, right? They've got to say and do a lot of things to win back the trust they need for. I mean, it's still going to sell well, but for it to sell to its fullest potential, they need to have people trust them again, which is going to be kind of difficult to do after the stuff they pulled with Battlefront 2.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I don't know. I mean, they probably won't talk about it a ton, but I feel like Anthem is going to have some rushed patchwork covering up where loot crates used to be.
I agree. Yeah, I think it will have loot boxes and microtransactions. I don't think they'll talk about it.
You think it'll-
or
you
if
think
they
it'll
do,
have
it's
them?
going to be. Yeah, I think it will. It's EA; they can't help themselves.
Maybe.
Yeah, and I guarantee you the sports games will be there because those are
That's
the cash
obvious.
cows.
Yeah, the sports games will always be there. Madden,
Not sure about a
FIFA.
T-shirt and blazer.
Yeah, I'm not convinced about it
Not
there.
Sure.
Talking about Anthem again. Anthem is such like a make or break thing. I think like it could either blow our minds and be one of the most incredible like online gaming experiences. Like
I mean, it looks
Just-
like a game where you play as Iron Man, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And that's
But-
been something
or-
people want.
It could be all smoke and mirrors.
Right.
And I've kind of been reading some things that kind of indicate that yes, it's smoke and mirrors. Like
Really?
a lot of the flying around is actually pretty linear
Oh, that
and
would
stuff like that.
that would
and
make me.
That would be infuriating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would lose it.
All I'm saying is, if I were to bet, I think Anthem, they'll hype it and show it off, but when it comes out, it will not deliver on the hype.
Really?
I'm of that position now.
I think that's a totally fair prediction. I don't see that as unlikely.
And as much as I don't want Anthem to fail, if Anthem fails, that's the end of BioWare. BioWare's gone.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Speaking
with
of
that.
BioWare-
take them out back and throw them in the pit with the other.
Another kind
studios
of
they've drained
risky
dry.
prediction, I predict we'll get the new Dragon Age announced this year at E3.
Maybe. There's a
I think it's time.
possibility.
Wait, but doesn't BioWare make that?
Yeah.
Yep.
They've been busy with.
Yeah,
They
they've
have,
been
they have
busy.
more than one team.
Well, their other team has kind of got shuttered.
All I know is Dragon Age Inquisition has been actively worked on for a while now.
Okay.
I think it's about time. Or not, well, Dragon Age, whatever the next one's going to be.
Might we won't see a new Need for Speed game. That's a sure. Maybe an intern on Battlefield game.
We will see Battlefield. Yep.
And it'll be
Yeah.
Battlefield Battle Royale.
It's actually about
You
time
think
for a
so?
new Battlefield game because Battlefield 1 was released when? A year or two
I think.
years
That's
ago?
I think.
2015,
Wait,
I
no.
thought.
I'm pretty sure I already read
No,
read a
2016.
pretty credible
2 years ago.
rumor, pretty credible rumor that the Battlefield game this year will be World War II.
Oh, I'd go back to Battlefield World War
But
II.
I can't imagine it not having a Battle Royale game mode.
It has to.
Yeah.
Call of Duty's doing it.
I know.
Like, that's
I know
already-
Call of Duty's doing it.
Been confirmed. They're doing one in lieu of a campaign, which is
Oh, that's
That's
That's-
crazy.
Nope, not even gonna touch
that's
it.
gonna make so many people mad.
will it though?
Yeah,
The
major-
people
I
like
love
Call of Duty
campaigns.
It's a Black Ops game too.
I
so,
love Call
you
of
know.
Duty campaigns, but most people who play Call of Duty play it for multiplayer.
I feel like they still play the campaign. Though.
Yeah. The thing
I think you'd be shocked to realize how many people don't.
the thing about the new
Hmm.
well, we're off topic now. We might as well just mosey right on into Activision at this point.
Well, Activision's not going to have their own event. They'll probably partner up with Sony.
Yeah,
being Sony's.
Sony.
But yeah, I think Battlefield World War II. I think if they were smart, they'd
It better be called
probably
Battlefield 1944.
it would probably include a
Gotta
campaign
do the entire-
and a battle royale mode.
Yeah. Battlefield
think-
campaigns are always like crazy, especially after the Battlefield 1 campaign. I would be sad to see them not have one. 'Cause
Yeah.
Battlefield 1's campaign.
Battlefield 1 was probably the hallmark.
The
of
vignettes.
That's all I ever
Yeah,
played.
those were good.
I never played
Yeah.
the multiplayer because I hated it, but I loved the campaign.
And I think Battlefield is already suited to do battle royale more than Activision because they already have
It already
these
has the
giant
vehicles, the
maps
giant
with
maps,
vehicles
right.
and dozens of players.
Yeah, it already
you
has
know?
64 players. What's another, 36?
Right. Only a 33
Yeah, it's nothing to
or
them.
50% increase.
It's a whole lot less. It's a whole lot less.
I'll
of an
play
increase
Battlefield
than
because
Call of Duty.
Battlefield's a beautiful game. It
Right.
always looks
Yeah.
stunning.
And the guns are so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
In this day and age, I would certainly pick Battlefield over Call of Duty. If they were like two similar styled World War II, like
I've never played a Call of Duty game and actually enjoyed the gunplay as much as I've enjoyed a Battlefield.
No,
gameplay.
definitely not.
It's
I think
so
where,
good.
where Battlefield sells it for me is the destructible environments.
The destructible
That just
environments.
adds
Those
so
have
much.
gotten worse with every release, though.
Yeah.
That's true,
So
which is kind of weird, but I still appreciate it.
Yeah,
I mean,
they haven't-
that isn't really even a thing in Call of Duty games.
no.
Yeah, the ability to just go through a wall or knock a house down is so good feeling. Like if you were playing Call of Duty, you drove a tank onto a wall, your tank would
Your
stop.
tank breaks. Yeah.
Your tank just explodes. You do it in Battlefield, the building explodes, and your tank is fine. Like it would work in any other game.
I think maybe, hopefully, this is another very risky prediction. I almost don't even want to predict it, but I want to say the possibility of a Star Wars announcement that isn't a Battlefront game. Because I know for sure EA's got stuff in the pipeline for Star Wars. I just don't know if it's ready yet.
They don't. It won't be single player. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the best you could hope for is a Star Wars Battle Royale.
Yeah.
I'd play it. Now, just let everyone be a Jedi and maybe Darth Vader, and me just start killing younglings. You know,
Younglings.
yinglings, yinglings, and younglings. There we go.
I'm trying to think. Anything else for EA?
I don't think so.
I feel like I'm missing something big. Well, we talked about Battlefield. We talked about Anthem. Talked about potential Dragon Age. That was more me.
Wait, Burnout's EA, right?
Is it? I'm not too
I
sure.
think Burnout's EA.
Mm.
I could search it up real quick.
Well, if we think of something, we can always go back. But maybe we can use this opportunity to move on to, I think, the three most anticipated E3 conferences. The first party trio of Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft.
I think we should start on Microsoft.
Okay. Microsoft?
Halo 6.
Halo
Yes.
6.
Halo 6 cross-platform for PC and Xbox.
Yeah.
It is time for Halo. I think it was time for Halo last year.
Yeah,
Halo needs to be announced this year. Halo is the face of Xbox.
Xbox exclusive.
No, it's gonna have PC as well. Yeah.
They're
But
gonna
that's
say
they say that.
exclusive.
Yeah, but that
that just means it's
doesn't
not
mean
on
exclusive.
PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just means it's PS4. Who cares?
We will. I'm almost positive we'll get a release date for Crackdown. Because if not, that game is probably in deep trouble at this point.
Can I throw out a bold prediction right off the bat?
Sure,
New Banjo-Kazooie game.
I would be all in.
I'd be all
And
in.
let me
so
tell you
in.
why. Super Mario Odyssey just did really well. A Hat in Time just did really well. And people bought Yooka-Laylee even though they kind of missed the point. So, obviously the demand is there. And Microsoft had time to see that. They own Rare, they own Banjo-Kazooie.
That would be a day one purchase, like not Game Pass. I would buy that game.
What if it turns out to be nuts and bolts too? I
won't.
honestly wouldn't be
It won't.
mad.
They
If
know
it
better.
was, I would burn my Xbox.
They
I
know
wouldn't
better.
be mad.
And it'll come out on PC as well. It'll be an Xbox exclusive.
Right.
With Windows 10.
I would love to see that from Microsoft Rare. Like
Microsoft Rare. That sounds so weird.
a sort of Banjo-Kazooie revival that follows the traditional like platforming style. That I can't get behind that. I don't think that'll happen. But if you're right, you'll definitely get some cred for that.
Brownie points.
I think
Let's-
they'll talk about Sea of Thieves some. Maybe
Sea
more
of Thieves
content
will
coming.
probably
Absolutely. See if
be
these
either
will be able.
apology.
No. They're not gonna. They're going to announce maybe a roadmap and like a content drop for soon.
Yeah.
That's going to be their kind of like exclusive Destiny. They're going to keep supporting that. Keep
Yeah.
releasing content for that. We will absolutely see something Minecraft related.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, of
Maybe
course.
that super duper graphics update they announced a year ago that we never got.
I think
Coming
maybe, but I think we'll see new Minecraft stuff
in. What about a T-shirt or
announced
blazer?
there.
100% chance for Microsoft.
100%,
Yeah.
What about a very cringeworthy cringeworthy Minecraft presentation is guaranteed because anytime Minecraft's involved, it just starts to hurt.
Do you think they'll announce anything VR for the Xbox One X?
Minecraft VR.
I actually don't think
You
they
don't
will
think so?
because they have the Windows solution, and
Right.
plus, I think
Windows
if they're
mixed reality.
holding off, I think they might be holding off for complete VR integration for the next
Yeah,
console.
I agree that seems likely.
Because at this point, it's a little. I don't know. It's just, I feel like it's kind of late to do that.
Yeah, the ship's kind of sailed on
Um,
VR this gen, I feel like.
I do think that Microsoft has a lot to prove this E3 Phil Spencer, recently I was reading, he's kind of been hyping this E3 up, like saying we have an incredible lineup of games. But I feel like I've heard him say that before, and I've been disappointed.
I feel like they're going
And-
to talk about indies a lot. They're going to have a dedicated indie slot. Because I've seen, not anywhere high up, but like actual indie developers a couple of times. They've
Yeah.
been like, I can't tell you why, but Microsoft is the place to be right now. Like, there's something going on deep down. You know, they've only talked about it like very vaguely on Twitter and stuff. But
Okay.
like, there's a rumbling that Microsoft has something big for indies coming.
So that could be exciting. Maybe we'll get whatever that thing is.
For
Revealed.
Spectrum at E3.
Spectrum will not be at E3, I'm afraid.
But yeah, I think
Spectrum won't have a release
I
date.
think
by then.
Microsoft, in order to deliver on kind of what Phil is promising, they need to announce several first-party titles.
Right, so they've got Halo 6, release date for Crackdown 3,
Crackdown, maybe a new Forza or something.
Banjo
There's going to
Kazooie.
be a car there, honestly.
Banjo Kazooie, I'm telling
Gears
you.
of War, I don't know.
Gears of War is pretty much dead at this point.
But that's the thing. Okay, so we just listed all of Microsoft's major IP. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. They
Yeah,
don't have
Banjo
much.
Kazooie's
Yeah.
coming.
Banjo-Kazooie doesn't even make that list.
Don't act like it's not. It's coming. And you're all going to eat
But
your words.
The point I'm getting at is I think Microsoft has a lot of new IP cooking right
Maybe.
now. Based off of either Phil's spouting empty words or there's truth behind them in that they've invested in a lot of new IP. And I'd love to see two of those, at least, I would say, at E3.
That would be nice.
Brand new IPs, brand new directions for Microsoft's gaming division. And I think they need that more than
I
it,
want that game
more
Pass
than
to be
ever.
worth it.
You know what?
especially when comparing them to their contemporaries. Nintendo and Sony are just releasing hit after hit of games that are only available on those respective systems. Microsoft needs to compete with that.
If Psychonauts was going to be shown at E3 anywhere, I feel like it would be at Microsoft, wouldn't it? Psychonauts 2?
Yeah.
I think that's probably in a place where it could be shown at this point.
That brings up an
I don't see
interesting
it being
point.
exclusive.
Major third-party deals with Microsoft. I think we'll probably see Shadow of the Tomb Raider at Microsoft.
Oh, yeah.
I
That's
think
likely.
we'll likely see whatever Ubisoft's big fall game is, because I know Assassin's Creed partnered with Microsoft last
Right,
year.
yeah.
And those are two pretty big titles. Of course, the biggest partnership, Call of Duty. I'm gonna predict that'll still be
Call
with
of Duty
Sony.
is
but-
still Sony. Battlefield, however, we'll probably see more about Battlefield on Xbox.
Well, Battlefield will be shown off at
Yeah,
EA. Let's see. So,
Let's move on to Sony, I think.
Yeah.
well, not quite yet. I think we'll probably see a battle royale announced in Halo. If
I'd play that, honestly.
If-
Of all the possible battle
yeah,
royales, I think Halo would be the best
Halo
one.
is announced, that's kind of my
PUBG cross-platform.
right. PUBG. They'll definitely dedicate time to PUBG during the conference.
Yeah, like, hey,
Even though I
we
don't
might
think
fix
it's gonna
this.
We might actually
Well,
make it
potentially,
cross-platform.
yeah. But yeah, I think my biggest and most hopeful prediction for Microsoft is new, unexpected, really cool-looking first-party games. And Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, I'm saying Banjo-Kazooie's not impossible.
All right.
Off the wall, a new Viva Pinata, honestly.
Bet you're off the wall.
That's my off the wall.
I could see that.
Brand new Viva
I don't know,
Pinata
Viva
game.
Pinata, that franchise is a little dead, isn't it?
It's been dead for a while. They said that about God of War, and look what happened.
Yeah,
We
but
get-
Viva
we get
Pinata
the
wasn't a
best-
game franchise, was it? It was a TV show.
It was a
First.
game franchise
Oh.
first.
Really? I thought the TV show
We're
came
gonna
first.
get Viva Pinata, and there's gonna be a dad in it. That dad's the main character, and it's gonna be great.
Okay.
All right. So you've gotten our bold predictions from all three of us for Microsoft. So moving on to Sony.
It's gonna be a lot of Spider-Man.
Spider-Man will probably be their big game because
Yeah.
that's coming out
Spider-Man.
in July.
That zombie game that they showed off last E3.
Days Gone. They've been showing that off for so many E3s. That needs to come out already.
Spyro Reignited
Detroit.
Trilogy is gonna get shown.
Detroit is also coming out this summer. They're going to show that probably.
They're gonna show off.
Spyro. Yes.
Spyro, they're
Spyro's
gonna show
probably going to
off-
be on PlayStation 4 exclusively for a year.
What
And that's
else is
big.
there?
People are really clamoring for
Yeah.
Spyro.
They're gonna show off. They're gonna show off Last of Us 2.
They'll show off maybe
I've
a cutscene or maybe
seen-
a small gameplay segment. I still am of the belief that The Last of Us 2 is nowhere near done.
I've
Really?
seen like a list
I
of
think
games that are confirmed to be shown, and Last of Us 2's on it. But
I think
Well,
there's
I
gonna
think
be
that's a load of crap, first of all. And second of all, I think The Last of Us 2, the earliest we could see that game come out is late 2019. The absolute earliest.
What do you think they're gonna show for PSVR?
I think they'll have a whole section dedicated to PSVR.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure like what we'll see. Hopefully, a bunch of neat, new looking IP,
Mhm.
or not necessarily. Well, new looking games. What I think would be really cool is if we got to see more of Sucker Punch's new game, Ghost of Tsushima, which was briefly teased earlier. Another PS4 exclusive that's probably going to come out much later.
From Software might make an announcement.
I
Death
think
Stranding will be
I
there.
think they will. From Software had that teaser at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
Remember, Shadows Die Twice. I wouldn't put it past them
Kingdom
to have
Hearts.
their new game revealed at E3 at Sony's conference.
Yeah, we might see a Kingdom
Bloodborne
Hearts.
2, fingers crossed.
We will definitely see Death Stranding because Kojima's just going to confuse us all again.
See, like at a certain point, like I almost don't want that to happen. Like I don't want them to show Death Stranding in The Last of Us 2 because I know they're not coming out soon. You know what I mean? Like
We know
it's
nothing
cool.
about Death
It's cool getting hyped, but like we've seen.
We've
Maybe
already seen
it'd
them.
be I'd be cool with seeing Death Stranding if we saw gameplay. I think that'd
Yeah.
be really cool.
Right.
That'd win E3 for Sony because Death Stranding has been teased and dangled in front of us like a carrot on a stick.
I mean, the amount
forever.
the amount of hype behind Death Stranding and the amount of hype there will be leading up to its release is probably going to be unprecedented. We probably won't see something like that for a while. This is the first game from Kojima unleashed, you know?
Every single trailer for Death Stranding has had me asking more questions than it's answered. So
Yeah, I mean, but that's so Kojima, though. That's just what he does. Going back to From's new game, do you guys think...
Wasn't
If I were
From
to
working
bet-
on a sci-fi game? Wasn't that announced?
No?
CD Projekt Red might announce something.
CD Projekt Red is working on Cyberpunk
2077.
2077,
And
And I
they
think-
are going to make an appearance at this E3.
and I think they're going to actually be at Microsoft's conference. That's my prediction for Cyberpunk. I do think that I hope From's new game is shown and that it's Bloodborne 2, but my prediction is that it's a brand new
New IP.
Yeah. Only on PS4.
Only on PS4.
Yeah, because
That'll-
similar
yeah,
to
like
Bloodborne. Yeah.
I hope not. But that
What
seems
else?
likely.
I'd like to see. So I'm of two minds with God of War. I'd like to see DLC teased or something like that, but the other part of me, and I think the stronger part, just says no DLC.
Yeah, no, that
Don't
game
do anything.
feels like a finished
Yeah,
product to me.
and just work on the next game.
I think okay, so my safest prediction yet, Vita will not be mentioned.
I
It hasn't been mentioned
I
for
could get behind
years.
that. Yeah,
There will be a T-shirt and a blazer, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Vita 2 announced. No,
Won't happen.
They might announce something with Epic, maybe.
yeah, good point. I think Fortnite will be at
Do you think
Sony's.
Fortnite will finally come out?
No,
Fortnite saved the
I
world?
don't. I don't think it will.
Do you think?
But I think Fortnite will be showing stuff on PlayStation because PlayStation's the biggest install base for Fortnite.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think we'll see more Destiny 2 content because Destiny 2 has a partnership with Sony. We'll probably see Destiny 2 stuff, but at this point, it's like no one really cares.
Yeah.
Which is sad but true. And see, like the thing with Sony is, we just listed everything we just talked about was known quantities, and that was so much stuff that I feel like that is the conference right there.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
all the stuff we just said, but Sony being Sony, I feel like they have to have a couple surprises up their sleeve because they almost always do. The only time they didn't,
God, Monster Hunter last
Yeah,
year
yeah.
took me for a ride.
they've had a surprise every year for the past half a decade, I would say, ever since PlayStation 4 became a thing. They've had one like jaw-dropping moment at E3, whether it was like Final Fantasy VII being announced, like remake, whether it was like you said Monster Hunter, Last of Us. Well, no, that was
The Last Guardian.
that
Big
was
shout.
I think at the PlayStation event. But you get my point. They have one big moment every
Yeah,
conference,
Every conference.
and I don't know what that could be for this one.
I think it helps that Sony has like a movie studio. I think they can put together a better show than like anybody else can.
Like,
That is fair.
for the God of War reveal, for instance, they had a live orchestra playing
yeah, Sony
over
just knows
gameplay.
how to
It's
show.
just so good.
They know how to put on a good show,
Yeah.
and nobody else knows it as well as them, except maybe Devolver.
In two different respects, yes.
I honestly think their big thing might be like off the wall a Jack and Daxter game.
Not by Naughty Dog, surely. Do you think?
No, it won't be. It won't be by
No,
Naughty
not
Dog.
by Naughty Dog. Might be Insomniac.
I think a new Ratchet and Clank is way more likely than a new Jack and Daxter.
And Ratchet
Well,
Clank-
Insomniac's got their hands full with Spider-Man. Though.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
Honestly-
Insomniac's a big studio these days.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Honestly, I can
I
see a
do think,
collaboration.
yeah,
between
we're
the
going
two.
to see an announcement, something we haven't predicted.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's going to be.
It's gonna be new Crash Bandicoot.
It could be a new IP. It could be that
A new Crash Bandicoot is not unlikely.
a new Crash
Yeah.
Bandicoot is 100% happening sometime. I just don't know when. Just because the Crash trilogy, it sold so well, it like defied common logic.
New Crash Bandicoot game, a demo will come with the Spyro trilogy.
Oh, that would be
That's my
a
prediction.
good throwback.
Because they used to do that. Like Insomniac and Naughty Dog used to include demos in each
because
other's
they
games.
literally worked in the same building,
Yeah.
I'm
like
just,
right next to each other.
I'm racking my brains. I can't think of any Sony first-party studios that are still like kind of secret. They've all kind of put their cards out on the table.
Little fun bit of trivia. There are some people from Naughty Dog's names for the eggs in Spyro 3.
Oh wow.
The eggs,
They're
yeah.
in-
Some of the names are Naughty Dog.
In
people.
Jack and Daxter, there's a giant billboard of Ratchet and Clank, and in Ratchet and Clank 2 on the game console
They're
on
friends.
the screen. No, on the screen is they're playing Jack and Daxter.
Because they're friends.
Yeah, because they shared the same building. And they're like, oh, want to play Easter eggs for each other? Oh, okay.
I don't think we'll see Uncharted,
No, me neither.
even though I think Uncharted really is the face of PlayStation now, which is like kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, but I feel like
But
Naughty
not
Dog
at the
Naughty
same
Dog
time.
won't like that. Naughty Dog will want to stop and
I
go
think
to something
Sony
new.
wants them to make Uncharted, but Naughty Dog's busy with other stuff now. They might get someone else to make Uncharted, which
Yeah.
might be weird. I don't know
I
if I
mean,
like
it wouldn't
that.
be the first time. Somebody else made Golden Abyss, right?
Right,
And
but-
that was a good enough game.
Yeah, but the Naughty Dog Uncharted games are just something special. You know?
I agree. It didn't have the set pieces and stuff as much, but like the basic gunplay and everything was solid.
Yeah,
Although I guess without the set pieces, it's not an Uncharted.
it's not
game.
Uncharted. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else for Sony, even though I feel like
I mean, yeah, there's going to be a
we're,
surprise.
in our recap or whatever that we do, we're going to talk about that one big thing that they did that we didn't predict. Are you guys good to move on?
Yeah, I think we're on to Nintendo, right?
So Nintendo,
Big game is Smash Bros.
they're going to be focusing on Smash Bros, and they also announced they're only going to be talking about games that are going to come out this year.
Okay,
So Smash Bros is coming out this year. How
Smash
insane
Bros
is that?
this year. Yoshi, I think, will be shown a lot. And I think Metroid Prime 4 is going to get shown.
I don't think Metroid Prime 4 will be shown. I think Fire Emblem will be shown instead. And Fire Emblem is coming out this fall. That's my prediction.
I guarantee you they're going to throw something out like, this is now on Switch. Reggie
Yeah, I mean, Switch ports will be mentioned, probably.
Reggie will come out in a shirt and a t-shirt and a blazer and be like,
Fall-
surprise.
Fallout 4 might get announced.
I could see that. Another kind of bold prediction, I don't think Pokemon will be mentioned at all.
Really?
I don't think Pokemon will be mentioned.
I'm of the opposite respect. I think if we're truly making a blockbuster conference, they will announce a Pokemon game.
The reason I think that is because Pokemon is huge. And for them to say that their presentation is focused on Smash Bros. This year, I think Pokemon is being put in the back for another to shine
I don't
later.
think Pokemon's ready. I don't think
I don't think it is either.
I don't think Game Freak can make
I don't
a
think
Switch game.
I don't think-
they know how to use decent hardware.
I don't think we'll see Pokemon until 2019 at the earliest.
Honestly, although this is coming from the studio that has a tendency to announce major games through Nintendo Directs.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting a Nintendo Direct.
So-
right?
Yeah.
we're not getting a quote unquote live E3 presentation.
Yeah,
we're
we're getting
getting
a
a Nintendo Direct.
So I don't know. I think they're going to talk about I think they're either going to talk about Metroid Prime 4 or maybe a Yarn Metroid game.
Yarn? Yeah, that's definitely
That's
your
my bold
craziest prediction. No.
Because Yoshi's not Yarn anymore. Yoshi's moving on to like dioramas.
Yeah.
Yoshi's
I
going
kind
back.
of want to hone in on Smash Bros. A little bit.
Yeah.
So,
So-
what are your character Okay, well let's first
just
say,
even before that.
is it a port or is it a new
I
game?
don't think it's a port.
I don't
and
either.
and I think if it is, a lot of people are going to be mad. And all conventional logic tells me, just knowing how game development works, I think that part of my brain tells me it has to be a port. Just because of how
Well, let's look at how long it could have
kind of
possibly
quick
been
the
in development.
turnaround is between Smash 4 and this Smash.
Yeah, but it could have been in development. Like, Breath of the Wild decided it was being ported to the Switch a year before release, I believe. That would give it 3 years of development time, which is plenty, I think, to make a Smash Bros. Game.
yeah.
It just,
The
I
time.
guess you're right, but it just seems quick. Just seems so quick to me.
Smash 4 was also done in collaboration with Bandai Namco.
Right, so their hands weren't necessarily
So
full.
they weren't full. They were working on something behind the scenes, so probably another mainline Smash game.
Do you think we'll get another adventure like Subspace Emissary? I think we will.
We better.
I'd hope so. It's honestly so hard to read. Like, Sakurai just decides arbitrarily things he really likes and things he doesn't like, and he's super committed to those things. So if he decides, like, once again, he wants to wow people with cutscenes and stuff, we'll see another thing like that.
Yeah.
Well, he wanted to wow people with cutscenes in Smash 4, and he decided to do the character announcements.
Yeah. I think
I
the
hope they do
character
that
announcements are the better way to go for Smash.
I like the adventure mode, though. I don't
Yeah.
need the cutscenes, even.
So,
I just want the story.
let's just go-
I like seeing the characters interact.
Worst case scenario. It's a port of Smash 4 with 10 or so new characters, 10 or so new stages, and a few new items.
I
That's
think 10 new characters.
if it's a port of Smash 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the absolute worst case scenario. If it's
No
a
cuts. If it's a port of Smash, they wouldn't cut anybody.
if it's a brand new Smash, which I personally believe it is, Nintendo is acting like this is a brand new
Yeah.
Smash Bros.
They're going to cut characters.
If it turns out that it's not, then I think Nintendo has been a little disingenuous.
Yeah.
Leading up to this.
I
but-
agree.
With it being a brand new Smash Bros. Characters, we're definitely going to see some character cuts, and we're going to see plenty of additions, I think.
Yeah, we're going to get Ice Climbers back.
The roster is just too big at this point. There's no way they can just keep adding onto it.
I agree.
They can add on to it all they want, really.
I think they need to cut
I
at
mean,
least half the
balance is
Fire
a
Emblem
thing
cast.
they gotta consider.
Yeah,
right?
Fire Emblem cast is going to get cut.
It needs
It's-
cut in half, at least.
Yeah,
There's
I don't
too
think
many.
all of those Fire Emblem characters are necessary.
Especially the
Um,
DLC one, Lauren or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
come on, we already
I mean,
had
Marth is iconic at this point. You
Let's
don't
be
you don't
honest.
mess with Marth.
No.
Marth stays.
Marth stays.
Rabid Mario will show up in
I
this
think
Smash.
Marth and Ike are the two most iconic ones. Like even Roy's and all that.
You think a Rabid Mario?
A Rabid Mario.
I
A Rabid will show up
I
in this
absolutely
Smash.
could see that happening. A
I think
Rabbit as a
Paper
playable
Mario.
character.
Paper Mario, yeah.
I'm not with you there. I don't think Paper Mario. Unfortunately, I don't think anyone cares about Paper Mario. I love Paper Mario, but I don't think we'll see him in Smash.
I think we'll get a Paper Mario. I think Waluigi will finally get in.
Waluigi better.
There's
Did you
such
see him in that Mario
there's a
Tennis
weird
announcement?
There's a
quantity
weird amount of people that like
Waluigi
Waluigi,
fans
I mean,
that will
look
be
at-
appeased by that.
Look how memed he got in that Mario Tennis announcement.
Right.
And how fabulous he looked.
And this is 2018. Memes become reality.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already seen, quote unquote, a new character,
A
a
Breath of the
couple
Wild
new
Link.
characters. Breath of the Wild Link,
Yeah.
who I think is just going to be the default Link.
I don't.
Um,
I think
he will. Be.
Well,
Well, I think he'll
default
be the
Link in
default
that,
Link, but
like,
he'll
we
have a
won't
new-
have Adult Link and Breath of the Wild.
He'll have a new skill set.
Yeah, I think Link will now just be Breath of the Wild Link with the new skills, and
And then we'll have a
we'll
Toon
get
Link.
like a young or Toon
Yeah.
Link. We've seen the Inklings.
Yeah,
Inklings,
Inklings
yeah.
will be in for sure.
They're definitely going to be in. One or two ARMS characters, definitely. I think ARMS is ripe for picking for Smash.
Could we see the return of Pokemon Trainer?
I hope so. I really enjoy Pokemon Trainer. In terms of Pokemon, though,
The
we
Decidueye is what you
definitely
were
know
saying.
we're getting one or two additions. There's
Yeah.
always new Pokemon in new Smash games. As you said, Connor, Decidueye is probably the biggest one of the most popular new Pokemon, and his moveset, even when I played Sun and Moon for the same time, totally screamed Smash Bros. To me. Like the bow and arrow. And
Yeah.
Like I could totally see that
Um,
happening.
So, so do you guys have any crazy character predictions that like
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah.
Let me hit you with this: Nintendo Labo
Ooh.
as a character.
But so, do you think that would be like a Rob like?
Yeah, I think it would be. I think it would be like maybe the robot from the robot suit or something, but with all the accessories and made of cardboard.
Nintendo's goofy enough to do something like that.
Yeah, and I think it would be hilarious. It'd be like a Rob Wii Sport or what was it? Wii Fit Trainer?
Yeah,
That sort of thing.
Wii Fit Trainer was actually pretty good. My off the wall, like completely out of nowhere character being included.
Goku.
Goku's within the realms of possibility. Please.
See, the
my
the one thing about
character,
Goku is, like you said, memes become reality in
I know.
2018. So
I gotta think of an off the wall character. I want to say Birdo, but that's a given. Birdo's gonna be
A
Smash
given,
eventually.
really? You think so?
Yeah.
it'd be cool if we got Tails.
Oh, Tails, yeah.
I-
Shadow.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean,
Shadow.
Tails is the
Knuckles.
second most
And
iconic
Knuckles.
Sonic
Sonic and
character. I
Knuckles.
think if we're gonna get a second Sonic character, we're gonna
If
get
we're gonna get a
Tails.
second Sonic character, I want a second Mega Man character. I want Zero.
We're gonna see the return of Solid Snake.
I would love that.
I don't think so.
Especially with how
Not after Metal
Konami.
Gear's Fall from Grace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Konami doesn't like playing.
Maybe
nice with
Norman
anyone.
Reedus in Death Stranding.
No, there's no way.
Just Norman Reedus.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think Snake's ever coming back. I would love it if he did.
Bandana Waddle Dee might get in if they're because Kirby's been big recently. There've been a lot.
Another
of Kirby games.
extremely bold prediction: Banjo Kazooie.
Yeah, I mean
Never-
Phil Spencer said his game, and if I'm right, and Xbox announces a Banjo Kazooie game, that would be a great way
if you're right about that, you automatically win this predictions round.
I
think.
mean-
like that would be absolutely bonkers.
I find it's
and
feasible
I never
that
even considered it.
Crash Bandicoot
Yeah,
will make it
Crash
in,
Bandicoot-
because
Crash
Bandicoot
the Crash
is
trilogy is coming out on
huge.
Switch.
Actually, okay, I could
The
see a
Crash
Banjo.
trilogy is coming out on the Switch.
I could see a Banjo Kazooie remaster as well.
that's more likely to happen than a new game.
Yeah.
It's already gotten remastered a couple times though.
No, it wasn't a
Was it
remaster.
On the Rare collection, right?
It wasn't a remaster. It's just a port.
Yeah.
All of the.
Do you mean like remake,
Yeah,
like new
remake.
assets and everything?
Remake
That would be
completely.
cool. I would love that. One character I'm almost 100% sure will be in Shovel Knight.
Oh yeah, Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight? Yeah.
His moveset's so obvious. He's
Yeah.
so popular.
He's
Um,
perfect for Smash.
Crash Bandicoot is one of the realms of possibility. Honestly, he's so big in Japan, and with him coming to the Switch, it's a no-brainer to really include him in there.
I
Really
think
sell it out.
Mario will have Cappy incorporated.
Right, I think
From
they'll get
Odyssey.
rid of Flood and give you Cappy.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
which would be a pretty big change to how you play Mario. You know,
Right.
like which is why I think maybe it might be a separate character like Mario Odyssey. But maybe not. We'll see.
I don't feel like you'll be able to capture though.
Yeah, how are they going to put that in the
Yeah,
game?
that'll be very complicated.
With Link, I could see a mechanic where like the down B is he picks up a different weapon and different weapons have different
Up B
properties.
is for volley
Yeah.
scale, yeah.
But that's the crazy thing about Smash Bros. Now. Like what Smash Bros. Is now, it's more than just Nintendo. It's more of,
Right.
it's moved from being a celebration of Nintendo to a
Being
celebration of gaming.
games.
Yeah. Like half the predictions we talked about were not even Nintendo characters. Like
No.
that's where Smash is now,
we might
which
see
is really
Pac-Man.
fun to see.
Oh, I think Dixie Kong might.
Dixie Kong's definitely possible.
Dixie Kong.
Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze just released on Switch, so I wouldn't be
Right.
surprised if like
And they're trying to pretend that
Funky
that's the
Kong.
first
or-
release.
yeah, they erased it from
Yeah, I
the Wii U
know.
shop, which is
That's-
crazy.
yeah.
What else? What do you think? Let's talk
Oh,
about.
Wool Yoshi or Yarn Yoshi. It maybe as a
It'd be a
skin.
little much if we got Yarn Yoshi. And
It could be
Yoshi.
as a skin.
Let's talk about character cuts. Who do you think we might see leave?
Fire Emblem.
Yeah, some Fire Emblem characters.
Some Fire Emblem
Lucina's gone.
characters.
I feel like.
Yeah, Lucina's just a Marth clone. Like,
Bayonetta will probably stay.
Bayonetta better stay.
We're definitely going to lose Cloud.
Cloud.
see,
Cloud was a character.
I would love
Yeah, I can
if
see Cloud.
the sort of gimmick
Shulk, maybe?
guest
Yeah,
characters
Shulk
like
might get replaced with Rex.
I could see
Yeah.
Ryu being cut, but I would love for Ryu to stay like.
Yeah, I'm not
Char-
sure if the DLC characters, like some of them, or the third parties, I don't know if they're going to be able to keep the license. Like, I'd love for Mega Man to stay. I like him, but I'm not sure. Like, Capcom will play nice.
I mean,
There's
Pac-Man
no
will
the
probably
only
get cut.
people I'm sure will be in, like 100%, is the roster of the first Smash group.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Like,
won't go.
They're
anywhere, yeah.
eternal. They're not leaving. Even most of, I would say 90% of the roster from Melee is safe too.
I would love a full rework of Bowser Jr.
I think Bowser Jr. is pretty neat. as
Game and
is.
Watch might get
Yes, it
cut.
is. Why?
Why
No,
not?
there's no way. Game and
Villager,
Watch.
maybe?
Game and Watch is pretty iconic.
No,
at this
Villager
point.
is going to stay because I think they're going to announce a new Animal Crossing game.
Oh, and
Oh,
Nintendo.
that'd be
Yeah.
big.
I could see that happening too.
I forgot
Of
to
course, in
mention
Nintendo. I don't know why I asked that.
Yeah.
Who else would they cut? There's a lot of
Uh,
characters I'd like to see just getting
yeah.
cut.
I just my mind keeps going back.
Pit and
There's too much
Palutena will
Fire
stay,
Emblem.
probably.
Too much Fire
Too much
Emblem.
Fire Emblem.
There's too much Fire Emblem, yeah. They might cut maybe one or two Pokemon.
I think there are more Fire Emblem characters than Mario characters.
Yeah.
Really
like
hard.
straight up, which is just strange.
Unless you count Donkey Kong.
They won't cut Marth.
They
They
didn't.
won't cut what's the other guy?
Like,
They won't cut Marth. They won't cut Ike. Yeah. They can't cut those. They've been there since Melee.
But I think Corrin might go. Lucina's
well, I
gone.
was introduced in Brawl, but he's pretty iconic.
Yeah, Ike's very big. A lot of people play him. A lot of people be sore when he got removed. Ice Climbers will come back, of course.
Yes.
The whole
Yes.
reason Ice Climbers weren't in Smash 4 is because they couldn't support it on the DS.
Which doesn't make sense since this is an aside, but Rosalina and Luma worked, but you can't do.
Well, Ice Climber, like
There's-
I think
I guess
the
it's
AI is a
Fire
little
Volley,
more
probably.
complicated because you can kill each one individually and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
You can kill each with Rosalina and Luma
It's
well, Luna just
Luma
kind of
comes
pops back.
Yeah,
too.
Luma
After a
pops
while.
back.
Yeah.
The Ice Climber doesn't come back, and the Ice Climber has relied a lot upon breaking the game to work.
Well, that was just in Melee. Like I feel
Yeah.
like that wasn't a thing in Brawl. But gosh, okay. In terms of other predictions,
for Smash or for Nintendo.
see, like, well, for Smash, I feel like the roster's so big, like already. I feel like you can't have too many
Ganon might get a rework.
big additions. I don't think Ganon will get reworked.
Me neither.
His
He's pretty
moveset's
iconic,
iconic
yeah.
at this point, I think.
Yeah, they
But
might change it up a little. Maybe change the effects on it.
I would absolutely love if they just added characters and kept the balance somehow, but realistically, I can't see that
yeah,
happening.
they'd be going into like, I mean, There's so many characters.
Yeah, like I was surprised. Like when I saw Brawl, I was like, "This is as big as Smash Bros. Is ever gonna get roster wise."
and
And
then
then
Smash
Smash 4 came out, and just like it was ridiculous the number of characters.
Mhm. But I'm not comfortable with very many of them getting cut outside of Fire Emblem.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, I can see him cut some Pokemon, honestly.
Rosalina might get cut.
I
You
could
cut
yeah.
Charizard. Rosalina I wouldn't miss too much. But I feel
I
like a
could
lot of people would.
maybe see Lucario getting cut too.
Yeah.
Greninja.
Hopefully
maybe.
they keep Mewtwo
I think
after all the
Greninja's.
backlash
I think
last time.
Greninja's pretty iconic at this
Yeah,
point.
Greninja's safe.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you guys think of any more potential Smash editions? We talked about pretty much
I mean,
everyone predicted or otherwise.
Monster Hunter.
Ooh, yeah, that would be kind of out of left field, but I could see
Dio
that.
Brando.
I don't think so. No. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Very niche.
JoJo's. It's not niche. It's huge.
Well, actually, yeah, it's gotten pretty big, but it's
been big.
it's not big enough for Nintendo.
No.
It's like the number 7 largest.
If an anime
manga of
character is
all time.
getting added, it's going to be Goku.
Yeah. Because it's ridiculous. Like, Nintendo actually hosts real polls, and Goku's near the top of those polls. Like, fans are legit clamoring for Goku in Smash, even though, like, I'm pretty sure they all know, and the developers all know that's never going to happen. But they're going to keep insisting anyway.
Right.
Come on, tell me it wouldn't be fun to stop time and beat the crap out of Pikachu. Maybe even
I feel
drop
like-
a steamroller on him.
That would be great, but
Won't happen.
that's not going to happen.
It should.
Okay. Let's, I guess, move on from Smash. Do we have anything else? Animal Crossing, we talked about.
Animal Crossing, I think, will get announced, but there'll be no gameplay shown because there's no reason to.
Yeah.
I think we should move on to like the outliers of E3, the ones that just kind of get announced wherever they feel like it can be announced.
One other thing, I'm almost positive will happen. We'll get a Fortnite announcement on Switch.
Oh, we'll get a Switch revision announcement.
Oh no, I don't think so.
I do, and let me tell
That
you
would
why.
be insane.
The Switch crack that just got found. So every Switch, regardless of firmware, can now be hacked.
Is that really a thing?
Yes,
That's crazy.
and that was a problem in a chip in it.
Okay,
not
so
in the actual firmware.
When you say revision, you don't mean hardware upgrades or anything. It
I
was
mean, I
just-
feel like they're going to try to spin it as one.
I still don't think that would be the case. I think maybe they'll release a V2 with that,
Maybe and
Address.
just not say anything.
yeah, and just quietly phase out V1. That would be my guess. It's too early to see a Switch revision.
N64 Classic.
Yeah, I could see that. Oh, well, I don't think they announced that at E3, right?
I don't know. I can't say. Do you think the Switch Virtual Console or eShop will get addressed?
No,
Nintendo
I don't.
Online? Any of that?
I don't think so.
I
Well,
think
Nintendo Online maybe, yeah.
I see. I honestly, they've talked about Nintendo Online so little. I think they might be just sweeping it under the rug.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Nintendo's done a good job of keeping things quiet until they're ready to show. Like, if you had told me Smash Bros. Was coming out this year, like 2 months ago, I would have called you crazy.
Yeah.
But apparently it's
Same.
happening. Yeah.
But like, I don't know. People complain so much about having to use their phone and stuff. I feel like Nintendo might have had to take a step back and rethink their entire online.
Nintendo's pretty stubborn, man. I don't know about that.
I feel like they haven't been. They
this-
just had a change in president, you know.
That's true. And I guess we'll kind of see how he operates.
Oh
going
yeah, we'll
forward.
probably get introduced to him
Yeah.
in a meaningful way.
I mean, he'll
Yeah.
probably be doing the direct.
Yeah.
And I think that's all I have to say for
Yeah.
Nintendo. So, yeah, I guess those are our general thoughts on E3.
What about the outliers, like Gearbox and like?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Borderlands 3 will get announced.
Yeah,
well, but
Borderlands 3
they'll,
gonna
they'll
have
be
something.
partnered with maybe Microsoft or Sony, you know, like,
Devolver will probably be a glorious mess,
Yeah, they'll probably just play a bunch of indie games again, like
Yeah.
free itch.io games.
and their press conference will probably make fun of EA so hard, and it'll be great.
but in terms of like the 6 big companies, that's, yeah, like those are our predictions coupled with our like wild out of left field predictions, and we'll see who's right.
Yeah,
And we'll probably do a follow up episode just
get your
Talking
free
about-
scorecards online.
talking about how it went,
Play Easter Bingo.
surprises and stuff like that. All right,
Games
I guess
we've
we
been
should round off by talking about what we've been playing.
So I'll go first. I've been playing Super Metroid for the first time recently, actually. That game's hard, but it's so brilliant. I mean, you've heard it 1,000 times. Anybody who's ever played Super Metroid will say that its design is brilliant. It definitely makes you think a lot. Like, you have to keep your eyes peeled and stuff because it doesn't really show you. Like, it does. Like, there are hints and everything as to what blocks you can blow up and everything, but they're pretty well hidden. You have to have your eyes peeled. But I've really enjoyed it. I've had some of my friends calling me out because I think the combat's kind of hard. Like I'm at Ridley right now, and that boss fight is very hard. I've been getting my butt handed to me. I can't beat him, but overall, like the actual combat area to area is pretty easy.
Ridley and Smash, by the way.
Not gonna happen. He's too big.
Keep going. Sorry.
But I don't know. It's just a really good game. I'd recommend it. I just picked up an SNES Classic, and that's the game that's been taking my attention the most.
Okay, Michael.
So I recently started playing Frostpunk, and boy oh boy is that a game. If you're not sure what Frostpunk is a survival city builder, as it's called, where the world is like the 1800s steampunk world, and the Ice Age happened, and everything's now frozen and cold, and you move up to the Arctic Circle because why not? And you have to compete with morale. You have to make sure people are happy, make sure they're still hopeful, because if they aren't, they'll just leave and run back to London and they'll die. You gotta make sure they're fed, because they'll all die. Make sure they're all warm, or they'll all die.
So it's survival and city building.
It's survival
That's
city
a cool
building.
combination that I feel like I would be into.
It plays like a city builder, but there's also the under the hood elements of, oh boy. And the game itself is time limited, so you have like a time before the great storm comes through and it gets real cold, real fast, to the point where everyone's hiding inside and freezing to death.
So sort of like how Don't Starve gives you time to prepare for winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the game ends after the storm's over. And it's like most scenarios end after the storm.
So he survived. You won.
You won the scenario. And it gives you like those objectives like, oh, gather this much food for this storm because you're probably going to die very quickly. Because eventually, towards the end of the storm, your entire production facilities that aren't run by automatons, which are these giant steampunk spider robots, are all going to shut down because all the people will be hiding from the massive negative 240-degree snowstorm.
That's pretty cold.
It gets real cold, real quick. Like, you're sitting there, the people are just complaining about the wind and how it's real cold, and you're sitting there like, ooh, I see that temperature gauge going down real fast. You also have to manage your coal, your wood, your metal, and steam cores, which you use to make anything advanced. You can't make the steam cores, so you have to find them.
Yeah, that sounds really neat.
It's
And
really
it sounds like you're micromanaging a lot of stuff, which I'm all about.
There's not a lot of micromanagement. Most of the stuff works itself. You could literally set up your town and just let it run, and you'll be fine. No traffic to manage, no like worker paths. They'll just get there. It doesn't really matter how far away it is. They'll get there.
Okay, interesting. All right, I have been playing Far Cry 5. It's a good game. It's just it's what you'd expect from Far Cry. This one's set in rural America. I think Montana.
It's Montana.
It's tough to follow God of War.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of meandering about. I really haven't been too into video games, period, after God of War. It's just been like a drought.
Ruined it.
But with Far Cry, what I do like a lot about Far Cry is that the Ubisoft like checklist style, like it just gives you something to do, which I guess sounds like a negative, but it's kind of fun. Just like discovering more of the map and like completing side activities. And the main story in this game involves you taking down like a religious cult that's like taking over this county in Montana, which like that's kind of like a touchy theme for a game to touch upon, but it's kind of just in the background most of the time. It just serves as like a backdrop for you to do crazy Far
from
Cry
what
stuff.
I've heard, they did their absolute best to make no commentary at all in this
that's kind
game,
of
which is
yeah.
I don't like. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like by saying nothing, you are absolutely saying something. So they should have just chosen to say something.
Mm.
Yeah, I also heard that the story had a lot of issues with you just getting Ex Machina kidnapped. Just out of
That
nowhere.
happens a lot, and it's very annoying.
It's
Yeah, there's little annoying things with this game, but like
encounter rates are bad. Like you'll see someone everywhere. No matter where you're at, you're gonna get attacked like a puma or something.
yeah, and but like I don't want to be too negative. It's still fun to play. It's still Far Cry. If you enjoy Far Cry, you'll enjoy this game. One cool thing I like about this game is the co-op element of it. So my friend and I have been jumping in the same world and like driving around and doing quests, and that's always fun. And you can turn friendly fire on, so if you want to blow your friend up, you can do that.
Oh, good.
It's the best.
I
I
get-
come to Perspectrum.
I get killed more by my friend than I do by the actual enemies in the game, so I should probably turn that off, but it's all part of the fun. But yeah, it's another Ubisoft open world style checklist checking off type game.
Yeah, that's how Far Cry goes.
Yeah.
I don't regret not buying it at this point,
It's
especially
Yeah,
not after
and
a
I
glowing review.
definitely I think would have been more positive on it if I talked about it before God of War, but
Yeah.
that's just how it is.
I see that. Have you played with the arcade or anything?
I haven't yet, and I've been meaning to get into that.
That
check
was
it out.
why I
Yeah.
almost picked it up, was because I thought that looked fun.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, the arcade is like a sort of like level editor consisting of assets from various Ubisoft games like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and it's just like you can create your own levels, you can play other people's levels, you can play them with your friends. It's a very cool community driven feature type thing. I haven't checked it out yet, but it seems pretty cool. All right, so I think that's it for this week. By the time this episode comes out, it'll be very close to E3. So we'll watch E3 and probably get back in a few episodes with our thoughts.
Probably in a different quality, in a different format. You never know.
Yeah, kind of
Keep
foreshadowing something
Gotta
there.
keep
But,
it going.
all right, thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.